The Treasury's health is robust, but we must always be wary of unnecessary expenditures and watch out for possible avenues of profit. With that in mind, I would like to discuss the thorny issue of child benefits, which were abolished under your brother's rule. There are vocal elements within the community who are clamoring for us to bring it back. In the interests of the Treasury, and of the long-term welfare of the people, I have a counter-proposal. It's somewhat radical, but rather brilliant, if you don't mind me saying. We charge people for every child they have. This would keep the population low, but more importantly, the Treasury high. Is it really fair to bring new life into such an uncertain world? And won't that gold go to help the children who have already been born? Of course, you may also choose to keep Logan's policies. The matter is entirely in your hands. Reinstating the child benefit system would be a popular move, of course. However, one must consider at what cost. Very well, Your Majesty. The breeders amongst the rabble will be ecstatic, I'm sure. Perhaps you are considering making a personal donation to the Treasury to make up for the shortfall. It is entirely your decision, as always. Shall we proceed with the rest of your appointments? Here is the royal agenda for the day. As you can see, you have 2 audiences in the throne room to begin. I've heard rumors that Reva's latest proposals are both scandalous and delicious. It should be most entertaining.
My lord. Your Majesty. Greetings, sir. All stand to attention. This hearing concerns the future of the Bowerstone Shelter and Orphanage. Paige will speak for the disenfranchised people of the city. Reva will dispute her cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, the shelter has long been the only refuge for the homeless, the poor, and the orphaned. And until we can change the whole world for the better, it will continue to be their only hope of survival. Isn't it time we held out a helping hand to those who need it most? The shelter...
The poor of this city have suffered enough. We will renovate the shelter and orphanage.
The Bowerstone Shelter shall be refurbished at the Crown's expense.
Thank you, Your Majesty. You've done the right thing.
As you wish, Your Majesty. The parentless tykes and their destitute friends shall have a palace to call their own. Are you a beggar, too lazy to own your own clothes? Or perhaps an orphan, aching for a bowl of gruel? Then come to Reva Industries Shelter and Orphanage, where you'll find food, beds, clothes, and even new parents. No matter who you are, we care, even if you don't deserve it.
Today, you will deal with a pressing environmental issue, the disposal of the city's waste. Reva will offer his proposal. A member of the Morningwood community will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, I'm sure you will have noticed a certain aroma permeating the city of late, even more nauseating than usual. I fear it is not merely the...
Morningwood is to be left unspoiled. We will find other ways to deal with Bowerstone's sewage problem.
The King has spoken. Morningwood shall not be used as a waste site. The Sanitation Committee will look into safer alternatives.
Groovy. You are like a majestuous eagle, Your Majesty. You are in touch with your inner innards. Granny Nature thanks you from, like, the bottom of her heart.
A pity. I must admit I was rather looking forward to breathing fresh air, but I'm sure your Majesty knows best. There is nothing as important as the health and hygiene of our citizens. As such, Riva Industries is delighted to announce the opening of the Bowerstone Sewage Recycling Facility, because there can be no affluence without effluence.
The day is almost over, Your Majesty. Only one more appointment left. Page has requested a meeting in the old rebel headquarters. How very cloak and dagger. I wonder what she wants.
It's not every day a king walks into the rebel headquarters. Good. Kid went undercover with a gang of robbers and found out their plans. They're going to strike the tavern in Bowerstone Market. If you get there in time, you can stop the raid. And at least one of those thugs must know where Ferret is holed up.
Hello.
Yes!
Great.
Greetings, sir.
I had a doggy once. Had him with mash and mushy peas.
If you cooperate, you won't get hurt. But if you give us any trouble, we'll kill you. Now, just so you know we mean business, I'd like one of you to give us trouble, so we can kill him as an example to the rest. Who's it gonna be then? Oh look, we have a volunteer. The king, no less. Have at him, fellas. Do you ever wonder what your spleen looks like? Let's find out.
Nice weapon you've got there.
We've nearly won this one, boys. Just one last push. Was that some kind of spell? I've not seen that before. Come on, lads!
I am not impressed in the slightest. I am not impressed in the slightest. I am not impressed in the slightest.
All right, Your Majesty. It is no longer advantageous for any of us to frequent the hideout in Industrial. Presently, I shall inaugurate a new centre of operations in Bowerstone Market. You've been provided with a key which will permit access. Please endeavour to prevent its transference to an unauthorised individual.
Why did you kill them? I'm just trying to understand.
Never fancied adventure yourself?
You again. It does tend to obviate the entire objective of maintaining a secret hideout, if your enemies can simply infiltrate whenever they've the inclination. Lads, perform the specific services for which I employ you. Expeditiously.
Huh?
Kill him! Fast!
I'm gonna hang your...
Oh, yeah! Shoot him another arsehole! You better magic yourself some shielded underpants, because I'm about to shove a few feet of steel up your ass!
Sorcery, that is.
I hear you were dragged in for murder. I've done plenty myself.
Please set me free.
To get caught.
I've not seen that before.
One for finesse, are ya?
They kidnapped me. Please let me out.
I am not impressed in the slightest. I am not impressed in the slightest. I am not impressed in the slightest.
I can't live one more day in this cell.
I believe I can state with relative confidence that your efforts are in vain. Even should it transpire that you vanquish my associates, this door is completely impenetrable. In addition to which, this cell contains a secret egress through which I may abscond whenever I desire. Meanwhile, my compatriots shall brutalize your person.
How much time are you... Yeah, that's the stuff! You fancy that? Got more if you...
You haven't lost your touch. I'm surprised his men were foolish enough to fight you.
Now, truth be told, my superlative intellect notwithstanding, it would appear this is not, in fact, the specific cell I so confidently referenced earlier. The one with the secret exit has 2 beds. All right, you have prevailed, Your Majesty. I concede. However, I entreat you to entertain a certain proposal.
You have nothing to offer, Ferret. It's over.
That pronouncement is objectively devoid of merit. I happen to have on my person a substantial quantity of currency. Let me go free, and the money is yours.
As far as I'm concerned, you can stay in there and rot.
You royal miscreant! This grievous malefaction shall be rewarded with equally grievous retribution.
The treasury is simply bursting with wholesome, nutritious gold. I sometimes spend hours staring at this glorious accomplishment. Our wealth surpasses all expectations. I must congratulate you, Your Majesty. But the kingdom demands your attention once more. The time has come to make a decision on Albion's drinking laws. Under Logan's rule, our citizens are restricted in the amount of alcohol they can purchase per day. As you can imagine, this has proved a rather unpopular measure. And yet many respected members of the community think the law does... As you wish. Let the streets be filled with poor, drunken revelers. Perhaps it will take their minds off their impending doom. This will leave a noticeable gap in our budget, however. If you are feeling particularly generous, you may wish to make a personal donation to bridge that gap. Let us move on to other matters, Your Majesty. You have a busy day in the throne room ahead. Samuel, the head of the Brightwall Academy, is ready to plead his case. I sincerely hope he isn't after a handout, though I'm sure Master Reaver will be the voice of reason, as always.
Your Majesty.
My lord.
Long live the king!
Ladies and gentlemen, the king.
I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Today you decide on the status of the Brightwall Academy, Your Majesty. Samuel will speak for the town and its scholars. Reaver will dispute his cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty,
It was your father who opened the doors to Albion's greatest seat of learning. Under his rule, knowledge and culture flourished, and so did the people of Brightwall. I ask only that you return to the wisdom of those days.
The Brightwall Academy will be open to all who wish to learn.
The Brightwall Academy shall be reopened, and Albion will once again have a free centre of learning.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty. This is the start of a new day for us all.
Very well. I will make the arrangements at once. Stimulate your intellect in the newly reopened Brightwall Academy. Suckle the knowledge from the land's greatest minds and avail yourself of the best library ever assembled. Everyone, from the most impoverished genius to the wealthiest idiot, is welcome. Brightwall Academy. Whatever you earn, it's the place to learn.
The court summons Page and Reaver. The matter before you today is the future of Bower Lake. Reaver will offer his proposal. Page will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, a recent survey of Bower Lake has found that the waterbed is rich in valuable metals. Now, as a...
Page is right. We must protect our natural resources. Bower Lake is to be left untouched.
The king has ruled. Bower Lake's natural beauty is hereby protected by order of the crown.
Thank you. Let's show the world Albion is worth defending.
Is a pretty view worth more than a treasury full of gold? I bow to your greater wisdom. As someone whose home has overlooked the resplendent Bower Lake, I am pleased to declare the official protection of this natural wonder. May its water drown anyone who doesn't appreciate its beauty.
I trust the court was not too dull today. In any case, I'm confident your final task will be most enjoyable. A loyal and wealthy member of our community has offered to make a sizable donation to our treasury. Her only request is that you go to Millfields to make the collection in person. A perfect chance to stretch your legs, Your Majesty. It's about time the richer people of this city started contributing to the kingdom's defense effort.
It would be suicide to enter them without combat experience, or training, or skill.
I don't want to enter them. I want you to.
Right. I was talking about me.
Oh, just forget it. Ah, Your Majesty, it's such an honor to have you here. If only fate hadn't conspired to make me look like a fool. Beware the woods, Your Majesty. The soldiers may be superstitious, but there's no denying dangerous beasts lurk within. Good luck. I know you will succeed.
At your command.
Looking for the statue, Your Majesty. Follow the white Belverine. Looking for the statue, Your Majesty. Follow the white Belverine.
The captain told me to bury it. He was scared there'd be a mutiny if the others found out. Said it was for the good of the squad, but all he wanted was the weapon. He lied to me. He lied to us all. Wasn't my fault. I couldn't disobey a direct order, could I? The captain made me do it. But Seth was my friend. He was my only friend. I'm sorry, Seth. I'm so sorry.
Right, you monster. Prepare to meet your... Oh, I'm so sorry. For a moment there I thought you were a Belverine. Damn things are always trying to get through our defences. We burn silver nitrate in those lamps to keep 'em out. Kills 'em pretty quick if they hang around for too long. If a lamp goes out, well, I don't like to think what might happen then. One went out just recently, but we got it lit again fast. The man responsible, this bloke Connor, got punished. Severely. Before he disappears into the forest, he tells us there's gonna be a reckoning. He's probably in 25 different stomachs right now. That's my reckoning. You can come on out, everyone. It's safe.
Your Majesty, I've been expecting you. You've been through the village, have you? Charming hamlet. It's full of warm, wonderful people who'll give you the shirt off their back and condemn you to death for one simple mistake. Anyone can fall asleep on watch. You exile him into this forest and call it justice? But enough about that. You're here for that statue. It's quite a remarkable thing. It did everything the legend said it would. And now I don't need it anymore. It's funny how things change. So if you want to take it back to that prig in Millfields, it's yours. Nearly free of charge. All I ask is a small favor. Destroy those silver nitrate lanterns. Then the village will get a taste of justice. The choice is yours. And it's a simple one. How simple? If you decline, my brothers will kill you. Ah, well. I suppose it was too much to hope for. Still, your choice won't save the village. Now that I'm the leader of the pack, we've got some brains to go with our brawn. We'll lose a few of the weaker members, but we'll deal with those lanterns on our own. In the meantime, killing you will be a good way to, shall we say, get the blood flowing.
Impressed in the slightest. Slightest. Please! Please! Look at me! Why me? Please! My life! Don't take it! Please! Why would you want to kill me? I don't deserve death! I'm a good person! Please! No! Don't kill me! Slightest! Not in the slightest.
You are stronger than I imagined, Your Majesty, but not strong enough. Prepare yourself for death.
Those are nice shoes. But don't you think it grants me to cold build without them. I was hoping you'd come down. We could use a good laugh. Excuse me, have you got the time to get stuck? Sometimes I just want someone to talk to. And sometimes I want someone to kick in the crotch.
We could be
Best friends. If I like people with an arm for a face.
Well, it's here. You certainly
are a big, strong hero for a lady.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You've saved us from certain destruction. We're in your debt. You'll always be welcome here, should you wish to return. Connor had this on him. It looks like a Belverine. It's yours if you want it.
Whoa!
It's the great ruler.
But I need to know that you really feel the same
You're back.
way.
Did you
Before
find
I
the
commit
thief?
myself.
Did you recover the stuff? You found it? Oh, I can barely contain my tears. Oh, excuse me, Your Majesty. I can't let you...
A magnanimous gesture indeed. Your subjects are lucky to be ruled by one so giving.
Hey, great!
With the fatidic attack not far away now, it fills one's heart with confidence and supreme satisfaction to see the treasury filled to the brim. I have taken to sleeping beneath the gold and can report nothing but restful nights. As for today's first order of business, you may have heard about the dire situation the kingdom's economy finds itself in. Logan's policies always kept our cities on the edge of bankruptcy, and the panic caused by the fast-approaching darkness has only exacerbated the situation. I'm afraid the only way to stop this slide into ruin... You are such a giving, magnanimous person. Very well, I will make the arrangements. Life will be easier for your subjects for a while, but the treasury...
All stand to attention for the king of... Today you must decide how much protection to grant Aurora. Kaelin will offer her proposal. Riva will stand against her.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, as you know, the threat from the deserts that surrounds my city has not diminished. The darkness could fall upon us once more at any moment. Aurora is part of your kingdom now, and I ask that you grant us protection. Build a desert outpost that can warn my people should the crawler attack. It shall allow us to leave the city in time and ensure the survival of your loyal subjects.
A desert outpost? I've never heard such nonsense. What shall we do next? Erect taverns under the sea? Plant crops on mountain peaks? It is a foolhardy suggestion. Why should our valiant soldiers suffer sunstroke and chapped lips in a distant land when they could be protecting the people of this very city? Is it really worth risking the lives of all the people outside these walls for a mere alarm system?
Aurora is under our protection. It is our duty to build this outpost.
The king's decision is final. A military outpost shall be erected in the deserts that surround Aurora.
We shall not forget this gesture. Aurora thanks you.
Ah, you are a whimsical monarch, and that is why you are so beloved. Very well, it shall be done. Riva Industries is proud to present an exotic tale of romance, adventure, and sand. The Desert Outpost.
Bring forth Sabine of the Mistpeak Dwellers.
Today you decide on the fate of Mistpeak, home of the Dwellers, Your Majesty. Sabine will speak for his people and their land. Riva will dispute his cause.
You may speak. I come here seeking nothing but what was promised me and my people. You pledged to restore our home mountains and our right to dwell in them. We have fulfilled our end of the bargain. We have paid with our lives to sit you on that throne. Now you must fulfill your end. Undo the damage your brother did to our land, and our agreement shall be satisfied.
Your Majesty, this sounds both an unnecessary expense and an impudent demand. What value is there in a few trees languishing amongst snow and rock? This is not the time to indulge some idyllic fantasy. Those forests are a resource, and we are in dire need of resources. I propose we expand on your brother's initiative and take what nature offers so readily.
I will keep my promise to the Dwellers. The Mistpeak Mountains will be restored.
Mistpeak shall become a protected region, and the Dwellers shall be granted authority over its forests and resources.
You are true to your word and your honor. The Dwellers will stand by you till the end.
The forests of Mistpeak are our greatest national treasure, and now, thanks to Riva Industries, they have returned to their past splendor. Dwellers, birds, and bunnies are free to roam, laugh, and kill each other as nature intended. Who needs all that lumber anyway?
It is time, Your Majesty, to meet fate with steely resolve and commission Albion's army. We will use the funds we have to establish the best possible defense. Before I can commit those funds, however, I require your signature on a contract stating your awareness of the projected number of civilian casualties. Strictly a formality, of course, though should the number alarm you, you may wish to donate as much gold to the treasury as possible before you sign. Very good. If you could just sign on the dotted line, please. Happy anniversary, Your Majesty. 1 year as King of Albion. Doesn't time just fly? I am delighted to say that the Albion army has been deployed in preparation for the invasion, so we may enjoy the occasion without apprehensions. To celebrate this momentous day, I have prepared some fantastic events. First, you will stand still for several hours while a local artist paints your portrait. Then you will choose the 47 varieties of flowers you wish to be cast at your feet as you parade through the city. Oh, and you will need to sign thousands of autographs, of course. Let's see, you will also be fitted for a new pair of shoes, and, of course, you will need a new suit.
The day has come, King. It is time for you to face the darkness. But you will do so in your true form. Over the past year, you have made decisions that reveal your nature, and which have affected the lives of all your subjects. You have done what many would have thought impossible. Not only have you raised an army to protect your people, but you have accomplished this while acting as a noble, benevolent, and popular ruler. But you are more than a king. You are a hero. You are Albion's champion, its protector. This coming battle is the reason you had to take Logan's place. Only you can defeat the creature that dwells in the shadows. If you do not, all your efforts will have been in vain. Now go. Do what you were born to do.
It's here. The darkness has reached Power Stone. The attack has barely begun, but already we have suffered terrible casualties. We simply weren't ready. If we don't act quickly, there may not be a kingdom left to defend by dawn.
We have to get out on the streets, now!
Today we fight for Albion!
For Albion!